Hello students, welcome back to our second class of the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce? What have we seen in our previous class? That what is reproduction, what is variation and what are the types of reproduction. Here we will discuss the asexual type of reproduction in detail. To just give a short recap, asexual reproduction is the type of reproduction where one parent is sufficient to produce the offspring. The number of offsprings produced are huge and the method is relatively simple. It is seen in lower organisms. There are many types of asexual reproduction, namely fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, spore formation, vegetative reproduction, etc.
So, the first type of asexual reproduction that I am going to discuss is fission. Fission means splitting of an organism into two or more organisms. That is, breakdown of one organism into two or more organisms. Now, if one organism splits into two organisms, it is known as binary fission. Bi means two. So, binary fission is the splitting of an organism into two organisms. And if an organism splits into more than two organisms, it is known as multiple fission. It is known as multiple fission. Students, fission is always seen in unicellular organisms. Means those organisms which are made up of only one cells. Now, let us see the binary fission into a little bit detail. As I said, the binary fission is the splitting of a cell or organism, because as I said here only unicellular organisms are involved. So, binary fission is the splitting of one cell into two cells or two organisms. Now, let us see how it occurs in amoeba. You all know amoeba is a unicellular organism. It comprises of only one cell. So, the process of binary fission starts with duplication of the chromosome. That means the amount of chromosome in the amoeba is doubled. Then the nucleus elongates and starts to divide. Division of nucleus is known as karyokinesis. Karyon means nucleus, kinesis means breakdown. So, division of nucleus is known as karyokinesis. It is followed by the division of cytoplasm. The division of cytoplasm is known as cytokinesis. And then gradually the cell divides into two cells. So we get two cells from one amoeba cell. And these two cells have the same number of chromosomes as the parent amoeba cell. In this method, the organism produced has all the characteristics similar to its parent. They are genetically identical to their parents. Now, binary fission always occurs under favorable conditions. They never occur under unfavorable conditions. The second type of fission is multiple fission. Multiple means many. So here one organism splits into many organisms. The most common organism showing multiple fission is Plasmodium. Remember Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, the causative organism of malaria? Yes, Plasmodium undergoes multiple fission. What happens here? The Plasmodium develops a cyst or a hard covering around it. And inside the cyst, the Plasmodium repeatedly divides itself, forming 2 cells from 1, then 4 cells from 2, 8 cells from 4, and so on. The nucleus divides first. And when the favorable condition reaches, or when the conditions are conducive, this cyst breaks out, liberating the Plasmodium. They take up a pinch of cytoplasm, the common cytoplasm that is present, and separate as new organism. In this way, many organisms are produced from one single organism, and hence they show multiple fission. Amoeba, which divides by binary fission under favorable condition, can undergo multiple fission under unfavorable condition. Other organisms like Euglena, Paramecium, they also show binary fission. Now, amoeba can show binary fission in any plane. It can show it in this plane, this plane, this plane, any plane. But in Paramecium and other organisms which undergo binary fission, the plane of deviation might be fixed. In some cases it can be transverse, in some cases it can be longitudinal. The second asexual method of reproduction is fragmentation. Fragmentation literally means breaking into pieces. This method of reproduction is shown by simple multicellular organisms without body differentiation, like that of Spirogyra. Remember the green algae that is found in the scum of pond? Yes. Spirogyra, when matures to a particular size, it breaks down automatically into smaller fragments or pieces. Each piece is able to give rise to a new organism. This is possible because Spirogyra does not have body differentiation. That means we know a body is comprised of basic units called cells. Cells come together and form what is known as tissues. tissues again come together and perform a single type of function to form an organ. Organ again forms organ system, and the coordinated organ systems form what is known as organism. This process of organization of a body is known as differentiation. This differentiation is not present in Spirogyra. Their body is just a mass of many cells coming together or aggregated together. And all the cells perform all type of function. So, such multicellular organisms can reproduce by fragmentation. But higher organisms which show body differentiation cannot reproduce by the method of fragmentation.